I watched the first 4 episodes that you guys made, and I was completely blown away. It really exceeded my expectation. I'm not just saying that. Like, I really, really love it. The attention to detail you guys put in is insanely well done.
Thank you.
And something that stood out to me was the opening sequence. I love good opening sequences. And this one immediately catches you in that The Last of Us feeling with the music. That's a little bit different than you're used to, but it's still The Last of Us music.
Right.
You see the fungus growing. Could you maybe walk me through the creation of the opening sequence and the idea behind it?
Sure. You're talking about the title sequence where
Yeah,
they
the
show
title
everything.
sequence.
So that was something that we worked on with a company named Elastic here in the US. They are exceptionally good at making those credit sequences. Like you, I love a good credit sequence. For Chernobyl, we never could find one that we loved, and so we just ended up with Chernobyl. We didn't even do it. But for this, we saw a lot of their ideas, and one of the ideas they had was using the beauty of fungus to create the illusion of things that we know. And I thought it was perfect that the fungus is capable of, in its own way, building cities and echoing our country here in the U.S. Or pain or danger, and even at the end, Joel and Ellie. And that the idea of the fungus as something beautiful, even as it overtakes us and destroys us, was something that Neil Druckmann was very interested in, and so we worked with them, and it evolved. And yes, I'm so glad you like it. I think it's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really, really love it.
Thank you.
Craig, I would like to hear your take on this as well. I was at the League of Legends World Championship last month, and the developer Riot Games spoke there about gaming being the center of entertainment in the next 5 to 10 years. Like that every product, or not every product, most entertainment products with music, television shows, movies will revolve around gaming, like with The Last of Us now, or with Cyberpunk we have seen, or The Witcher. How do you feel about that? Do you see that happening as well?
No, not quite to that extent. I mean, as a gamer, I I know that the gaming industry is massive. Adapting video games is tricky, and not all of them are going to work. Even the ones that are narrative based, it's a tricky affair. I basically cheated by adapting the best video game story ever. So that was easy. I think there's an interesting time ahead of us where we will be surprised. I think this is my prediction by which adaptations work and which don't. It's a very interesting thing to take things from one medium to another. We know that as much as anyone. I do think there are going to be a lot more video game adaptations. There's no question. But right now, it's hard to say that they will become the center of everything when it seems like Marvel continues to be the center of everything.
Yeah, it's the age. It's the age of superheroes right now. That's
It
true.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
What are some of your favorite games at the moment, if you'd like to share?
I just played God of War Ragnarok, which I thought was terrific. Great gameplay, and I love the puzzles. I'm a big fan of those puzzles. It's a pretty cool thing. I did play Cyberpunk. When I initially got Cyberpunk, I was like, this I can't play. It was not playable, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
But then a few months later, there's a big professional gamer named Hutch on Twitter who convinced me to give it a try again, and I loved it. I played the whole thing, all of it, all the way through. That was pretty great. And then of course I played The Last of Us again for the remake on the PS5 because it's The Last of Us.
Yeah. I noticed especially in the episode about Bill and Frank, you guys added a lot to the story of The Last of Us.
Right.
Is that hard to do, or is it fairly easy to add stuff like this when the story is already so great? Or is that a bit dangerous for you guys as well?
Definitely dangerous. We discussed it very carefully, made those choices carefully. I think it was easy to do when we were doing the right thing. that storyline, to expand that storyline with Bill and Frank, felt like it was the right thing to do. And so there was this breathing room to create something. There are other areas where we just understood, hey, we could change this, we could add to this, we just don't want to. We think actually there's enough here from what the game did. So we're going to keep, if you're a fan of the game, we're going to keep you on your toes. You are not necessarily going to know what we're going to do. There are going to be moments where you go, oh, okay, they did it, and we love the way they did it. There are moments when we're not going to do it. We're going to do something else. But all of it is done within the spirit and soul of the game. And it was done with Neil right next to me. So I knew I was never going to do anything that would break the story or break the characters.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. It was awesome to see their backstory. So a great episode.
Love that.
Yeah. Greg, I have to finish up here. I want to thank you for your openness and answering my questions. And let's hope we win the World Cup.